Hello and welcome to the show. Hi, how are you? I shouldn't be that excited. Well, it's just, we were laughing right before. My name is Amina Abdirabah. Welcome to TTTT. My panelists tonight, hello Cindy Ogana, hello Silva Kido, and Daddy Mato. How are you guys?
Good. Ijuma Karim.
Yes,
Have I said
Ijuma
it right?
Karim. Yes, you did. You did.
I'm on the right side.
Yeah, you are.
Of pre-Eid
Okay.
favors.
Cindy amekula pilau.
I see what she's trying to do. By the way, Macho, are you going to drop that daddy name like the people drop that Lil something?
Yeah,
Lil
like
Cindy,
he's no
Lil
long-
Mina,
yeah.
Lil John, Lil...
Like Kanda Kid is now, I think Kanda Dad or something.
Sasa si mimi nilichukua dadi hata kabla nikuwe dadi. So I'm dropping it why. I am a father of many.
And a zaddy to one.
I am a zaddy to be.
Before
a daddy
but
for now.
So Kumbe, there was a reason why they called him.
It's called prophecy.
Zaddy.
Prophecy.
Have you guys been though? It's been a long week.
Long.
It
Hii
has,
wiki imekimbia.
Yeah.
Ile mbio imepelekwa.
Yeah.
Ujiona hiyo mbio?
It reminded me of that time when we're watching elections and then you just look away for an hour, 30 minutes, you come
The
back
next
and you're
time you
like,
have a president,
what is happening? Yani mtu anaweza replace you before end of day we are going to send you the wow.
I think
Easy kuoga na kurudi soko. This one is another one.
You were just in the circle waiting. I don't know.
in Kenya, dust is constant.
That's true.
In Kenya,
Yeah.
dust. Hiyo ndio inafaa kuwa tagline.
Yeah.
Hakuna story, hakuna matata. Kenya, dust is constant.
Yeah,
Facts
that's
only.
true. That
Yeah.
is very true. All right, so we're going to get to that story. We all know what story that is. That's coming up in a bit. But right now, as we start off, we have a heartbreaking story from Ruaka. A community is in mourning after a tragic accident near Club Decimo, where a driver in an alleged brand new SUV without even official plates hit and killed 2 people. Residents, overwhelmed by the tragedy, took matters into their own hands and set the vehicle on fire. Now, I know by now many of us have seen this video. Mato, do you think that, I mean, they do say when when you're in an accident in a rowdy, very chaotic area, you should drive off, maybe go to the nearest police station, report yourself, because the crowd, in this, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to settle a crowd that big, a crowd that rowdy, and mob justice follows after that.
So I was fortunate enough to get more details on this story because somebody I know was actually a witness to what happened. And the story, according to this witness, I can neither confirm nor deny, but the story that they give is that it's okay, first of all,
allegedly,
my condolences
right.
to those who lost
their
lives and their friends and family. I'm sure they are hurting over this, and it is nobody wishes death upon themselves. But the alleged story is that there were individuals that were intoxicated and were crossing the road at a place not designated for crossing. So the driver, who was probably experiencing a new vehicle or probably even delivering the vehicle to the real owner, I do not have those particular details, but the driver happened to not expect there to be people there and unfortunately ran them over. One was dragged under the vehicle, the other one was tossed a distance away. So what happened after that was of course, the mob started gathering. The first thing that happened was looting of the new vehicle. Then, after the looting, that's when setting it on fire. That's when they set it on fire. It is very unfortunate what happened. Very, very unfortunate. I'm not going to negate that. But of course, definitely, Kenyans, tafadhali, crossing the roads in designated areas ni muhimu tafadhali, not only to protect property and life, just for your own safety. Just be safe, cheza kama wewe. I do understand the intoxication bit inaweza kuwa ngumu, huwezi jua kile unafikiria, but jaribu kutembea pia na marafiki ambao at least wanaweza wasaidia. That's the first thing. Second, hii mob mentality ya kuchoma, man, I don't know when that is going to end, if it is ever going to end, because there is always the element of unajiona nani ndio wewe ugonge sisi na gari juu sisi hatuna gari. People come with that anger and
Oh, unajiona wewe ni special kwa sababu una gari.
Umefika
You're projecting
so
now.
this guy is the one that makes you special. This guy is what makes you different from us. Let's burn it.
Okay. Cindy, as Mutuse said, this is not the first time we have seen something like this.
It's definitely not. No, will it be the last? It's always a challenge when it is the pedestrian, based on Mato's alleged story. It's always a challenge when it's the pedestrian on the wrong, because the assumption is you're the one in the moving vehicle, you have a bit of more control in terms of your speed, the lane that you're taking. You know, uneze kaka brakes, you have a nice car shield around you, and the pedestrian is just being a pedestrian crossing. So it's always a challenge as to, you know, point the finger and say, okay, whose fault is it? Because again, for somebody to cross in a dodgy manner, and for you not to be able to apply emergency brakes to avoid them, drunk or not, it means you are speeding. So it's just a case of, was the driver also drunk because of the time in which the accident happened?
Yeah.
You know, it's just a really horrible case. And it goes back to, and I know a lot of people will troll me for this, but imagine, I honestly think alcohol blow should come back.
It's been back. It is back.
It is back.
It's not the way it used to be. You know, before it was hotspots, you knew if you don't get out of the club by 9, unashikwa.
What Wakiamburu, they know. I mean, it's
Thika
not
Road
every
wanajua.
weekend.
But you know, Jaina Kwanga usiku wa manane, and then it's on only specific places.
And it's
Not
all the
before. There was a whole WhatsApp group telling you where the hotspots were, because I feel the cases of drunk driving are really increasing. It's really worrying, the trend that we're going through. So yeah, alcohol should come through. Footbridges as well, because what do you do if a guy is drunk and they're staggering and they're crossing the road? Maybe even you can find this guy was at 60 kph. But, you know, tragedy happened. Our deepest condolences to the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, turudi tupulize kakitu.
Kido, unakubaliana watu wapulize kakitu?
Of course I support that, but first of all, just to say this, condolence to the family. Now, Amina, this shows us that we don't trust the law. Do we trust the system? Why are people taking, you know, matters on their own hands? Ukiona kitu kama hiyo, watu wamama kuchoma gari ya 30 million plus. I don't know if, are they waiting for maybe for someone to make a mistake? Are people mad, angry out there? I don't know kama wanachukulia kama ni punishment, when mdosi uko na gari, I don't know. But what I'll say is that we need to work together as a community. We need to be, you know, we live together as Kenyans. Sawa, makosa imefanyika. We need the traffic officers to come and analyze the situation. But the problem is, hizi stories are hit and runs imekuwa mingi. So hata msee akigongwa, hakuna justice at the end. Mtu ameshakufa, your story to end. How many cases have you seen before there? Even politicians, celebrities getting involved in a hit and run accident. So many cases. But all I'll say is that we need to be careful. Kama tuko huko nje, if you're driving, you feel like yako imeshika kidogo, you don't need to drive. Drive responsible. And then at the end pia wale watu ambao wanaharibu mali ya watu. Imagine yule msee maybe amechukua gari kwa showroom, ni a client, ni a driver, ni for example amepatiwa ni driver peleke mahali, and then mnaharibu kitu kama hiyo, an investment of someone. So it was so sad at the end pia we lost our life. It's not something I want to see. Na advocate for more when it comes to our road. Place India may propose we tukue na hiyo alcohol blow. We need our roads to have enough lights. Kama ni hakuna footbridge iwekwe pale, kama ni zebra crossing hakuna iwekwe, because at night ukipita hapa Thika Road ukienda mtaa, some areas hakuna lights. So it's so sad to see such.
Hata hapa Tao, by the way, downtown hakunanga mataa. You know, it's just, but you know, I was also curious, is this making stories because of the value of the car? If it was a dudu car, would it even be headlines? Because it would just be another day on the road.
No, but why should that ever happen anyway? No, but surely this is something, people should really be careful. Even when you hit a rider, let's say, because I've seen that happen to so many people, you can see the crowds. It's forming. Try get away. You're not trying to run away from the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
But if you could, like I said, just drive to the nearest police station, because they will not be as merciful. A lot of them do. Kwanza kuibiwa ni must. Iyo itafanyika, whether you like it or not. And if there's no cop nearby, it can get really, really bad. Yes. But I want to hear your thoughts back at home. At the Trend Live, the hashtag is TTTT. Let us know what you think about that. When we get back, we have to talk about that cross-examination. It's getting hot, but just read.
Let's compose ourselves.
We have to talk about the trending lawyer. That's coming up. after the break. Welcome back. Manzeni meambiwa na kama musheveve. What? Musheveve. All right, so as we mentioned, our handle on Twitter at the Trend Live, the hashtag is TTTT. It's X. Now, let's talk about Kenyans and their creativity. This time, it's all about Kibwezi West MP Mwengi Mutuse's intense cross-examination by Advocate Elisha Ongoya during the impeachment trial of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. It's crazy to say that.
Oh my gosh.
Former.
Anyway,
Anyway,
that way it puts it in context.
It does,
like
right?
It actually happened.
It is. The former. He's the former. We even have a new one. Like, time waits for no man. So much has happened in the past 48 hours, 24 hours actually. Anyway, so now the phrase alikuwa anona marudurudu. Have you guys had that?
Yes,
It took over
yes,
X
yes.
as Kenyans flooded the timeline with memes poking fun at the fiery exchange. But beyond the laughter, the trial itself raises some serious issues, Cindy. Yes, it does. So, no, but Elisha is whoever he thinks he is. He did a great job.
So where was this guy? Like, okay, maybe
He's been there. By the way,
we're not in his circles. That just goes to show you. By that, if he appears, then you know you're of another level. But I've never heard of him. I have lawyer friends.
see, we've heard of the Kawira's impeachment several times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he was part and parcel
yeah,
of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was not
Makes sense
involved.
now, right?
Yes.
Makes
Yes,
sense.
On
yes,
experience.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it was entertaining. It's been an entertaining couple of days. I feel sorry for Mutuse. I worry about his political career. I wonder where
what
he
do you
will
mean?
be. Imagine I do.
How?
2027 will not hear anything from him, by the way.
Do you know Kenya?
If history repeats itself, there is a tendency
I
of
support-
serving a purpose.
I
And then
support
when that
Cindy.
purpose is
It's
done,
done.
you
That's
are.
true.
So I hope he
It was
will.
worth it.
I hope he has a strategy. You know those 5-year strategies, like when the NGO now he has a 3-year strategy. I hope he has a because I honestly don't think we will hear much of him from
Not only
2027.
not only Mutuse peke yake, all those ambao wali vote against former deputy president. Believe me when I tell you this, I was on ground. Ni kama watu wanawakujia. 2027.
People are serious.
Ai, huyo Mutuse kwanza watu walikuwa wanauliza amefanya nini constituency yake, hakuna.
Hakuna kitu amefanya.
So, hey.
Kuanzia wapi?
Yani sijui ni
Umekuja
mimi
kutoka
ninaishi Kenya tofauti ama ni nyinyi hamutaki kukubali ni
Sema
wapi
chenye wewe
tuko.
umeona, sisi
No.
tumesema
Because-
chenye.
Sisi tuko ground,
Hamutaki
Mato.
kukubali. Aya,
No.
first-
Listen, quick one though. But Mato, I know it's just that every time you get shocked, you think this is it. This is as crazy as things can ever get, and then you find out, oh, there was more. We can get even more shocked, and
Aya,
that's what's
first
been
off,
going on.
This was a very huge gamble by Honorable Mutuse. Very huge gamble. Why? Because he was presenting to Parliament and to Senate, both houses of Parliament, he presented something that he has no firm grasp of. And that was very clear to the nation. But did they care? No. The goose was already cooked. He was just serving it. And the thing about being a good, loyal, let me use another analogy. Owners take good care of their dogs.
Yes.
Owners take very good.
Was that the only example?
Very
you
good.
had?
I'm not nishatoka huko. In the story, unrelated. In other unrelated news, owners take very good care of their dogs.
Yes.
So there is a dog that misbehaved, it was kicked out. There is a dog that behaved, it was given more bones, more milk, more food. Fact remains, for as long as, and you see, that's the other thing, for as long as the government of the day still holds the power,
Yeah.
Mutuse yako sawa.
Ndio
Mato,
nasema.
Mato.
But you see, the government of the day has no control over his constituency 2027.
No,
But
listen.
that's what I'm saying. It's a very big gamble, like you said, to fall on the sword for somebody who has already shown you his hand. And he's shown you, this is how I do things.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I am.
Cindy's right.
You know, I will
Cindy
swipe.
is
I'll swipe when the credit is finished. I'll toss the card.
You
So
are-
I really hope it was worth it.
You've seen it
because
time and
for
again.
me, I was like, guy, this dude.
Yeah.
You
You are-
will remember him.
Mato,
But Cindy,
Mato.
you're banking on him valuing his political career over just a career where he's making money.
Mato,
That's also true. You're right. Probably doesn't want to be.
But the reputation,
a
though.
civil
I mean,
servant.
even if he starts,
because
practicing.
maybe you see, Cindy, maybe the deal was different.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Martin, picture this. Our say wamepush history ya impeachment, go successful. Most of Kenyans, many go street, most of Kenyans were not interested with the DP impeachment.
Yes.
Watu wanataka kujua hiyo deal ya ndani inaenda wapi. Kenyans were much interested na hizi vitu zinapitishwa huku left, right and center. So our say wameka energy yote within 2 days wameimpeach. DP highest office. Lakini kuna Mkenya huko anauliza story ya deal, anauliza story ya Kenya inafanywa mortgaging. Una get? Awaongee hiyo story.
See, that's the point. That's the
So
point.
Wakenya wamesema ni aje? Awase wote walitouch hiyo impeachment wakasema yes aende. 2027. Believe me Mato, once IEBC iko sawa imesimama, Kenyans are willing to recall all the MPs.
It's very good.
But you
it's
know,
very good umemention hiyo IBC. Tuna hope itakuwa imesimama by 2027. Sindio? Na tuna hope Kenyans hawatakuwa wamesahau kile kimehappen sasa.
Raundia tusahau bwana.
Tuna hope.
Raundia tusahau.
No, I mean, if you think
memory
about
is
it, kidogo, people were distracted with what was going on as far as the impeachment process, was taking place. That's what people were focusing on. And I think we sort of lost the 30-year deal with KPLC and Adani. 30 years. 30 years.
It
That's
was a nice
long
distraction.
time.
We were really entertained.
These policymakers will not be in office in those 30 years. So who is going to be settling whatever debts it is that we keep on acquiring every single time? So this whole 2 weeks, 1 week that we have all been following this and making all these memes and all these jokes and showing videos of Mutuse sweating on the stand, there have been deals that are being made that will affect our livelihoods.
But I like that every season where there is a case like this, a new lawyer just becomes a celebrity at that point. Yeah, we had the one for Pakamielo Disco. Yeah. We had Mutula Kilonzo's Kathy Kilonzo.
Yeah.
Like I Mupenda.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget our learned friend, LSK president also as well.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying in terms of lawyers that have made news politically.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're what?
No, I'm saying don't forget her. She's stood out. Very quiet, pocket rocket, but damn, the moves she's moving in the back. Good stuff. Mercy.
Okay. What are you guys thinking about the impeachment, though? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, we can. We are taxpayers. This is our country.
No, it's just because I also don't want to be fired, and I don't know. I don't. You know what? Let me just move on. Now, a new report by Allianz, a German financial services company, has found baby boomers to be the wealthiest generation in history, while millennials and Gen Zs are struggling. According to the 2024 Global Wealth Report, baby boomers, those are born between 1955 all the way to 1964, built their wealth during times of economic stability, allowing them to prosper through regular work or business. In contrast, millennials who were born between 1981 and 1996, Gen Zs 1997 to 2012, face economic challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic and painful inflation, which have limited their ability to grow wealth. While Gen Zs might have an advantage due to the ongoing technological revolution, their overall financial prospects still pale in comparison to those of baby boomers. And I think that's why, all our parents were married before, I don't know, they were like 24 with 8 kids and they bought houses. All of them each had a house and 5 acres by the time they were 30. I don't know. I think it's because they were buying them with they were exchanging strawberries or something. Because when you hear the amount of money people used to spend back in the day, ati unajua nilinunua hii yote ilikuwa 100,000. I'm like, this is 15 acres in Kiambu.
Yes.
Today, you think of marriage and you feel like that's already a death threat and that person should be charged, because what are you talking about? Starting a family, having more kids. When you talk to people and you especially people who do want to have more kids, and you ask them, oh, why is the family? And they tell you, it's difficult times right now. You calculate that mathematics of school fees by 2, 3, clothes, everything is so expensive. When we're talking about health, si shift, si sha, you don't even know. You don't even know where to begin. Naona Mato ana itch, ana scratch. Okay, Mato.
Niko na kitu mbaya kusema. First of all, let me just correct myself. LSK president is Faith Odhiambo.
It's not Mercy.
Yes,
Faith.
it's Faith Odhiambo. Secondly, I've said this before, and I'll say it again very proudly. Tough times create tough people. Tough people create good times. Good times create not so tough people. Not so tough people create tough times. It's a cycle. Zile vitu tunalilia saa hizi, tunalaumu boomers, yet wao walikuwa na easy times. It is because of their easy times that we are going through these tough times.
How so?
Yes. Walipata vitu rahisi. Mimi nikipatiwa stories za venye watu walikuwa wanaenda university, wanalipwa kukua university, wanalipiwa shule, wanalipiwa accommodation, wanapewa chakula.
Job iko guaranteed.
Ukitoka hivi nje, ukistep out hivi, hakuna kutama, umeenda umeingia kazini. Story ya kutama kikaanzia kuingia na millennials. So you see, it's that cycle. And it's fortunate or unfortunate that they got to enjoy what they enjoyed. We get to struggle the way we are struggling. Gen Zs will also have their own struggles. But it is the millennials and the Gen Zs that will create something different for the alphas that will enjoy. Na waharibie hao wengine. Wataitwa nani? Wengine in future. It's a cycle. Inaenda ikizunguka hivyo. Kumbuka, not kumbuka, hukukuwa hapo. Wakati wa medieval times.
What?
Mambo ilikuwa ngumu.
Tulikuwa tukumbuke medieval times, Mato. Nakumbuka.
Mato alikuwa anajaribu kukumbusha Amina kitu moja. Unakumbuka not every boomers wako successful, by the way. Hata kuna wazazi wetu walikuwa hiyo time na bado wameteseka. Mato anajaribu kusema ile time wazazi wetu walikuwa wana dance pale kwa floor wakikunywa kabia. Wengine walikuwa wanagawana mashamba. That's what Martin is trying to say. But haina noma. From coming from being raised by family members wazazi ambao walikuwa wanajitafutia, not all those ambao walikuwa wanategemea kupatiwa mashamba. I'll say this, even if generation inakuja next, it all narrow down to an individual at the end. Martin, mse upata opportunity, right? Mse upata job, mse mess up job, mse upata opportunity to build family, anapata do, ana make the wrong investment. Angalia hata saa hii generation ya saa hii. How many Gen Zs, how many young millennials wanaunda do but wameinvest kwa luxurious life. Mtu anataka kuwa na Audi, anataka kujaza parking. Okay, nasindi nini? But huyo msee sasa aki make the right investment, inamaanisha the coming generation ya familia yake hawata struggle that much.
Unajua kuna ile general like generation mzima, like kuna majority, kuna percentages ni nini, vitu kama hizo. So ukweli ni kido umesikia wazazi wako ama peers wa wazazi wako wakisema niliuza ng'ombe ndio nisomeshe watoto wangu. Sasa hii huwezi uza ng'ombe ndio usomeshe watoto na wamalize.
Itakuwa one term peke yake. Bado utakuwa
that is what we mean.
Because even if you look at it back in the day, most of these buildings in town, if you want to know where the rich people are, enda downtown huko T-room. Hizo buildings tunapata ni mtu sijui alikuwa anavuta mkokoteni in the 70s, akakaa Nairobi akaanza hardware shop, all of a sudden they own a building. That story can't happen
it can't happen
now.
Unatoka shule, unatama, hata kama right now $1 million shillings is not money. In terms of an investment, you can't buy a house, you can't buy a decent plot that is somewhere not in the middle of anywhere, you know? So back in the day with $1 million shillings, you'd rule downtown.
That's why former deputy president alifanya biashara wakati ya regime ya Kibaki. Msisahau hiyo. When the economy was
stable.
Yeah.
It's things are just really, really hard right now. And it's also really good because a lot of parents understand, you know, a lot of people do still have to pay that black tax, which, you know, it also helps you with your money, how to spend your money. You know, because you send so much back at home. Let me tell you, do you know who I'm jealous of? And I'm not jealous of a lot of people. I am jealous of people whose parents never need them. It's just that,
tell you,
like,
it's a flex.
It really is a flex. It's truly.
That utasota wewe uitishe mzazi pesa. Wewe utasota in you are 30 years old. Nasema mom, dad,
mortgage,
nikubaya. Aseme my daughter, my son, my Dora. My boy.
I wonder what kind of life that is, that you never have to worry about money, that you never have to think about it. You know, like you finish school. I remember we all finished school, me and these two buddies of mine, And you know that dad, who was a judge, bought them apartments, started their businesses, and they all got cars. And I just was like, so Baba, what want to find anybody? Anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll be back. Let's take
My trust. My trust.
My chest. Yeah, man,
no.
no, shout out to my dad. I love my dad. Let's take a break. We'll be back. The hashtag is TTTT. All right, and welcome back. Welcome back. All right, so now let's read some tweets, by the way. We get a lot of complaints. People say we don't read the tweets. We don't read their Facebook messages after I've asked them their thoughts on the stories that we have discussed. So we're going to do that. But in the meantime, between time, I have to tell you all about this comic book. I have to tell you about it. Now, this is a pretty cool comic book. I've always been a fan of comics all my life, truly. And this is very, very different. Now, this is Shujaz. Shujaz is a community of young Kenyans, and this Mashujade, Shujaz has a treat for you, a special Mashujade comic celebrating Kenya. So please immerse yourself in the story of the fight for independence and freedom. And this is all based on true stories, by the way, that are told through the eyes of Mau Mau veterans. This is a really cool book to read, honestly. You don't want to miss it out, so be sure to grab yourself a copy in this Saturday Nation newspaper, that's tomorrow, or at your nearest Shujaz comic distribution point. Remember to follow and, of course, subscribe to Shujaz across all social media platforms to get more information on the comic and stand a chance to win amazing goodies. They have goodie bags that you can win. It's really, really nice, man. You should check it out. Yes, and told by actual Mau Mau vets. That is something I can get behind.
Oh,
all right,
so
so,
nice.
Right? All right, so now, Kido, I can see you are looking at your phone. So
Yeah.
You
You know, I've fallen in love with our fans on Facebook because they're always real. In regards
too real.
Too real, by the way. So in regards to Mutuse cross-examination by Advocate Elisha Onyango during the impeachment, kuna boy fulani hapa anaitwa Hilary Okech amesema the fake lawyer has not only impeached a DP, but has sent him to hospital. Boniface Ndeto says, this is Kenya and time will tell. Isaac Jr. say, my senior, Freddie Kogemo, Mutuse now a winner. William Young, finally, downfall of Mutuse, Ruto just used him like Rigiji. It's the done deal.
All right, thank you so much.
I have a tweet. Sarah Sash says, Mato, whoever gave you the story about the SUV forgot to tell you that there are no designated crossing areas in Ruaka. Let's not forget that this is the same road that the late Chira lost his life on a hit and run. Kenya need to do something about that road. Alafu kuna mtu anasema, hey, syllabus inasonga sana. Ochuku Brian, with a name like that, this should not shock you. But anyway, syllabus inaenda mbio sana, mlisema 1,000 sio pesa, sahi mnasema milioni 7 figure. Milioni, by the way, si 7 figure, ni 6. 7 figure sio pesa.
Milioni ni 7, Cindy.
No, it's 6 zeros.
Yeah, and a 1.
7 and a 1.
Yeah.
So it's 6, yes, it's 7 figures sio pesa. But listen, even these days, 1 million shillings, if you're doing a wedding nicely, uingize rurashio. Kwanza, if you're marrying from a certain area, uweke rurashio. 1 million is not money. Imeisha.
It's true.
Mato, unasemaje hapo kwa rurashio?
Kuna wengine hata ni wasanii peke yake.
Mi yangu hata ikuwa rurashio ilikuwa Kwanjula. My friend. Kwanjula is a different ball game. Aya, Son of Fate Kingori Wamboi says, the year was 2019, 3 years before the election. Na King Kaka aka-release ngoma ingine kali, Wajinga Nyinyi. And this was his opening verse. Today, I come before you for 2 things. Grateful for keeping me alive, even though unajua my day, na kutupea wa Kenya amnesia. Asante.
So tunasema tusipate amnesia before 2027 tafadhali. All right, so let's take a look at some of these other stories now. In a gripping scene at the Kabarnet Law Courts in Baringo County, a case took an unexpected turn. A middle-aged man faced serious charges of defiling his 8-year-old daughter. However, during her testimony, the young girl revealed that her mother, the complainant, had framed her father. She explained that after telling her mother mother about a stomach ache. Her mother twisted the narrative against the dad, and the mother later confessed in court that she had made false allegations due to her frustrations over the father's perceived neglect of their children. Let's take a look.
Na kwa hiyo baadhi yako ya asili venye ulikuwa unasikia uchungu. Baba alikuza hapo.
Ongea kwa sauti nisikie tafadhali.
Baba kunifanyia kitu. Sasa ningependa ueleze kote kile unajua. Wewe ni nani kwa Angela? Mimi ni mama.
Now, this is so unfortunate because it's not the first time we're hearing of something like this. And it makes me wonder how many men are doing time for a crime that they did not commit. This also makes it really hard for victims who've actually gone through sexual assault.
Yeah.
It just makes it really hard for people to be believed. But I don't know. Cindy, what do you think?
I think it's really, the first thing that crossed my mind is I felt the safeguarding of the child and the emotions was not, the system wasn't there. I understand that our court system is not really suited for witnesses who are of a certain age, because you need somebody who probably has child psychology,
yes,
a way you can ask the child that it doesn't seem like they're coerced or they're threatened. Not to say that what the child said is not true, but I just felt some type of way about how they were cross-examining, because it could also happen in reverse, where the girl is actually being, abused,
defiled,
but she does not want to say because she's embarrassed, and then there's somebody shouting at you and say, "Ebu, talk loudly," and so on and so forth. So that was my number one take. Number two, I think the mom should be arrested.
Yeah.
I honestly think if you incriminate somebody, you give false evidence, and this is evidence that could have put them in jail, I think that she should also be arrested. She should face charges.
She should.
Number three, I say this all the time, and I'm not shy saying it on national television. I say it also on my social media, platforms. I was a single mom at some point, and you have to ask yourself the balance between raising this child alone and the drama it takes to have somebody raise the child with you, because the tactics that she has used to ensure that this father is not a deadbeat might cause her jail time. So was it worth it?
No, it was not worth it.
Not worth it.
Kido?
It's so sad to see this thing bado inaendelea in our society. And then the reason behind this, niliona hapo hivyo kwenye article, is that huyo husband amekuwa deadbeat dad, hajakuwa akisupport family. So the mother was feeling like the only way anaweza get attention ama ku revenge ni kumwekea hiyo story ya ku punished. But you see, picture this this way. One, we are trying to send a message to the society that ukipata mtu mwenye haizi kusupport kama family, try come up with a case, mwekee pale, system itakufavor, atafungwa. You see, that's very wrong. Another thing is that it was so sad for a young girl to be involved in this. Imagine mtu huyu akigrow every single day, trauma. Ataendelea aje life yake, atakuwa aje, because mtu huyu akisha testify aseme babake hajamfanyia kitu, hakuna mtu anashughulika na story yake guiding and counseling. Huyo mtu huyu bado atakuja kukwambia ni aje mama yako sasa kuna kesi amebaki police station anafungwa. See the other side.
So amona baki nyumbani naye akikutesta pia.
Imagine sasa.
Yeah,
so it's so sad.
Utarudi.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, it is very sad. And there was a story about that. I think about maybe a couple of years ago, there was a similar story of a young girl who was, who lied and said that her father had defiled her. Turns out it was her mother who had coerced her in telling that story, and the dad had actually done some years behind bars. So it was her guilt conscience that kept eating at her, and she just had to confess and free the dad. But I don't know if the mom went to jail, but you're right, Cindy, they should do time. Mato, real quick before we go to the next story.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Okay, that truly does. It's true. It really, there's nowhere we will not take it, I guess, but
because now if she goes to jail, she loses the daughter as well. Who'll raise this child?
It is such moments that make me say, emotional intelligence sometimes, a lot of times, does not exist in women.
Yes.
I think
It
you'd
is
have
such
phrased
moments.
this a different way, Mato,
It is
because
such,
the way
it is
you
such
said it-
moments. I say it is such moments.
Let's say in parents, let's not pick a gender, please.
Yeah, because even men can be just as
Yeah,
petty.
yeah.
We've seen men put women through a lot of drama just because you want her to feel the pain. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
because you want the kids, it's because you have more money
Okay,
to
this is true.
battle it
Okay,
out in court
I'll
and
take
gainful
that.
custody.
I'll
It's
take
true,
that.
Cindy.
I'll take that.
All right, now picture this, guys. Picture this. You take your car, your brand new Toyota Harrier, to a car wash. And then later, you find your new car overturned. Yeah, that happened in Kitale. An attendant aliachiwa gari, aoshe, gari ikapinduka. And then he fled the scene. The incident has raised concerns about responsibility and the importance of trust in service industries. The one that scares me usually is the mechanic, because those ones I've seen it happen with my own 2 eyes. Someone, I think he was trying to park a Range Rover, and he just hit another Range Rover.
Hey.
Hapo sikuamini.
Wadosi wajuane, Amina.
Wadosi. No, but can you imagine, like, you've
wajuane.
left your car there. You know, you think Matu is going to take good care of it. Amekwambia, you know, my boys will look after it. Unakuja unaipata iko upside down.
First of all, okay, the year was 2012. 2013. My very first car. Nimetoka Mombasa vizuri, imefika Nairobi, nimeengojea kutoka saa 6 nikiambiwa nakuja, ilifika 6 p.m. 6 hours of waiting for it, nikachukua. Nikasema, wacha isiwekwe hizo rivets saa hii, wacha niende nyumbani nitaleta kesho. Nikaenda nikarudi. Nikaiwacha for 30 minutes niingie T-Mall, nikule shawarma, nirudi. Nilikuta karibu ilime mtu.
How?
Na nimeka nikaliambiwa tu, itoe hapa, uingize ndani.
We.
Kutoka hiyo siku, first of all, nilisema tu, wacha hizi vitu wacha nisizieke kwa roho.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu ni mimi tu
They are
nitajiumiza.
just
I'm just not going to hurt myself. Usiweke hizi vitu kwa
I know,
roho.
it's his first car.
Ya kwanza KBX 883L Nissan Wing Road Black.
Ini ile unamkanga usiku unaangalia kai bado iko kwa parking, si ndio?
We-
Every 2 seconds you keep wiping like a new phone.
I'm not saying it is a good thing that huyu mtu wakao shalifanya, lakini hata mimi ningekuwa ningetoroka. Juu sasa
Hata mimi
hari ya mpya
Honestly,
nitafanya nini?
hata mimi
Pay
ningetoroka.
insurance.
I feel like that would be the first thing I'd do. I'd just flee the scene just to go think about, just to think of what I'm going to do next. Because I know they'll find me. They have ways that they're going to track me down. I just don't know if I can face the owner who just left the car. Kwanza ya kuoshwa, you know, for it to be washed, you know, maybe if you were taking it to the mech, again, there are things you think could have happened. Maybe they were doing something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, hey, hiyo ni stress. Hiyo ni stress, let me tell you. All right, so do we have time for just one more story? Oh man, we don't have time. We don't have
We
time.
got to go.
We don't have time. We don't have time. Okay, so real quick, if you guys a couple of seconds, if you have, we have some seconds. So, Macho, real quick, the impeachment thoughts.
I don't think the reasons we were given for the impeachment of the president, of the deputy president, are the actual reasons why he was impeached. Kile walifanyiana huko, huko chambers, huko chamber, huko ndani, hatujui.
Yeah.
But fact remains, the fact that number one has been very quiet.
Yeah.
The only thing we see is documents signed. Hatujasikia siasa yote imepigwa juu ya hii.
Yeah.
Anaenda kanisa anaongea kuhusu mambo tofauti na vile yeye ni master wa PR. Hii hajaongelea hata kidogo.
Yeah.
Kuna kitu kingine ili hapa.
Lakini leo tulimwona mchana. Was very happy. Was okay. Cindy, real quick.
The impeachment process was a case of hyenas asking another hyena why it has more spots.
Okay, because me, I have 5 billion. Cindy, you have 10 billion. And
So
we're
why
just
do you have more money than
and
me?
we're watching like this, and we're wondering, wait.
I was like-
So what was the point of the public participation if 281 people had made the, okay. Kido?
Regarding impeachment, I feel it was not fair enough. Ungewacha hata tukule msheveve kwanza.
Tukule msheveve.
But the one thing I like is that they showed us wanaweza pigana vita yao peke yao na wamalizane. So wasituletee tena.
Yeah.
Yes.
But imagine kwa yote pia niliona enyewe that we can do things really fast.
Yeah.
No
it is
sooner
possible.
we just started talking about this impeachment. I thought
Yes.
this was going to go on for a while, and yeah, they decided we don't even need to hit November. This thing we can just.
They don't know how they're shooting
one
themselves
time.
in the foot. Do they know. Okay.
I don't
anyway.
think. I think it's for us Kenyans to see, you know, how quickly they can turn on one another. But yeah, so please let's keep our eye on the ball. Let's keep our eye on the ball. There's a lot more going on, all right? All right, so that's all we had for the show right now. We have the 10 p.m. show as well. Thank you so much, Kido. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you so much.
Happy
Ajaki
Mashuda Day
Matel.
weekend!
Yes, happy Mashuda Day weekend. My name is Amina Abdul. I'll catch you at 10 time now for the news. Good evening.